Hey guys, so today we're checking out the Enfab Cab Length RS Nerf Side Step Bars in textured black, fitting all 2018 and newer 4-door JL Wranglers. So if you're looking for some better accessibility for your Wrangler and also an off-road and heavy-duty look, this option by Enfab is going to be a great choice. Now this pair of side steps will come with a drop step for the front and the back, helping you and your passengers get in and out of the Jeep a little bit easier, especially if you have a lift on your JL. Now I do like the fact that this will offer a slight drop in comparison to some other choices which will have a lower drop step, which is actually going to help you a little bit when it comes to clearance if you're taking your Jeep off-road. Now these will have also a large stepping surface here. It is going to be pretty wide, giving you a ton of real estate underneath your foot. And as you can see, this is going to have a dimpled surface as well. That's going to give you some better traction for getting in and out of the Jeep. It's also going to help prevent any puddling on the step here, providing a little bit of drainage, and of course it's going to add to the sporty look that you're getting. Now not only are these good for better cab access, but also for some extra protection, considering that they are made of a 2-inch wide tubular steel construction, being very durable and able to take a hit when it comes to obstacles off-road or any door dings in the parking lot. Now again, I would keep in mind that this still has a drop step here, so if you are concerned about your clearance when it comes to rock crawling, if you're doing a lot of advanced or even intermediate rock crawling, this does have the potential to get hung up on some obstacles. So I would just keep that in mind when you are shopping around. However, again, it is going to be a little bit more high clearance than some other options, and it's going to be able to take a hit if you do take one off-road on an obstacle. Now this will also come with a nice texture black powder coat on top. Of course, that's going to protect the steel underneath from any rusting or corrosion, but I like the fact that it's a fine texture black powder coat. That's going to give it a very premium look, and also is just going to match any other textured accessories that you already have on your Jeep. Now when it comes to the price, this is going to come in at roughly $375, which is actually not bad for a drop step. Now some other choices available on the page are going to kind of be set up a little bit differently. I like the fact that this kind of gives you the best of both worlds. So not only are you getting better accessibility for your Jeep, but you're also getting some heavy duty protection in the meantime with this tubular construction tucking very tight to that rocker area. That is going to protect the pinch weld, as to where some other choices for side steps are mainly focused on accessibility and not as much protection. Not to mention, some other choices, again, are going to hang a little bit lower than this option, which is great for accessibility, but I like that this keeps it a little bit higher, giving you some better clearance if you are concerned about that off-road. And then there are going to be some other choices that are set up a little bit differently when it comes to style. So this is going to be a 2-inch construction, 2-inch tubular construction with a straight edge on either end. Some other choices have a curved end. They may be a little bit bigger when it comes to the tubing here, or they may have an angular construction or something that's a little bit more boxier instead of the tubular full construction that you see here. So kind of comes down to your personal preference, but I personally think if you're looking for a drop step for better accessibility, something that's going to give you a little bit more clearance when it comes to a drop step, and something that's going to be very durable and give you that off-road look that you may be looking for your JL, then this is going to be a great choice. Now when it comes to install, I'm going to give this a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you about 2 hours to get the job done with some basic hand tools. And one of our installers is going to walk you through that process step by step. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
Tools required for this install are an electric ratchet, 13 mil wrench, 14 mil wrench, a 10 mil socket, 12 mil socket, 13 mil socket, and a 14 mil socket. What's up guys? Today we're going to be installing a set of side steps on our 2018 Jeep Wrangler JL. So let's get right to it. All right, so our first step is going to be to mount these brackets up to our steps. So take our 10 millimeter carriage bolts, we're going to slip them through the backside and then put our nuts on the front. And then I'm going to use my 14 millimeter wrench to snug up this bottom bolt. There's not a lot of room in there. And then I'll use a 14 millimeter socket on my electric ratchet to get this top bolt snugged down. And then we'll go ahead and repeat the same process for the other two sides as well. All right, so now that our bolts are loosely tightened down, we can go ahead and get it on the car and start putting our bolts into the car. So a little tip, if you're doing this install yourself, you can grab a couple jack stands to help support the steps, make it easier to bolt in, or if you have a buddy, you can have them hold it up for you. So now that we got it all lined up, start putting the bolts in. Okay, so now we can take our M8x30 bolt, put that into the top hole, and using a 12mm socket on my electric ratchet, go ahead and get that about hand tight. And now that we have that one about hand tight, we can take our two M8x25 bolts and slip them through the front side of the pinch weld. And then we'll take our two nuts, get them on the back. And then using a 13mm wrench on the front and 13mm socket on the back, you can go ahead and tighten those down. Do the same thing on the other side. And then we can go ahead and repeat that process on the other two sides. Now that we have our center bolts installed, we can remove our jack stands and do the same thing on the other sides. Right, and now that we're done with the last bracket, we can go ahead and fully tighten everything down and repeat that same exact process on the other side.
So that is going to wrap it up for my review and the install of the Enfab Cab Length RS Nerfside Step Bar in Texture Black, fitting all 2018 and newer 4-door JL Wranglers. For more videos and products just like this, remember to always keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.